How's it going, viewers? Super Sam 6i7 here, and I am here with some very, very exciting news. So, about 20 hours or so, I guess, ago, um, Marvel and Sony just reached a deal. And this deal is regarding Spider-Man and his connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And everyone knows that, well, at least every big fan knows that there's a Marvel Cinematic Universe where it's like all the Avengers and everyone, and then Sony has Spider-Man set aside. But this deal is going to be changing all of that. So, Spider-Man is coming to the Marvel Universe. This is very, very exciting. I am very happy. But let's go over what the deal actually was, though. It was actually a really, really good deal for everyone. So this deal, basically what happened is that Marvel and Sony basically reached an agreement that, because Marvel has been wanting to use Spider-Man in some things, but Sony just, they just didn't really let them. And so this deal is basically going to say that Sony still has, they still own Spider-Man. So Marvel isn't, taking back Spider-Man or anything. Sony still owns them, but now Marvel is able to use Spider-Man. It's like they have the rights to. They just need to, talk to Sony beforehand saying, hey, we want to use him in this movie. And then Sony's just going to be like, alright, go ahead and do it. That's really cool that they're able to do that. So that basically means that Spider-Man will be appearing in a bunch of Marvel Studios movies, while at the same time, Sony is still going to have all their amazing Spider-Man movies and the Sinister Six and Venom and everything, which I personally love because that's the best case scenario for me, because I love Spider-Man, and I really want to see him interact with the Avengers and everyone, and so now he's able to do that, while at the same time, they can still continue that whole Spider-Man series that they have started with the movies, and I've actually been wanting to see where they go with that because, they have the Sinister Six coming soon and everything. And this deal basically just makes both of those happen. But another thing that came out of this deal is that basically, so Marvel basically just said, okay, so we can add him into our movies, right? What if we make our own movie for Spider-Man? And then Sony basically said, okay. And so basically, yeah, there's a, that's cool that, it's hard to get the words out. It's cool that Marvel Studios will actually be making a Spider-Man standalone movie. There's no exact details on the plot or anything because it was just decided. But it's pretty amazing that, they want him so badly that they're actually willing to push back a lot of their movies. They're actually putting him right next to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which that's pretty big because they're actually moving a lot of their movies back, and they're the only ones that they're keeping past Guardians of the Galaxy 2 are Avengers 3 Part 1 and 3 Part 2, which is pretty cool because that basically just says that Marvel Studios really loves Spider-Man and they really value him, and they want to put him in as much as they can. And speaking of as much as they can, it has been official that Spider-Man will be in Captain America 3 Civil War, which is really cool because if anyone who has not read the comic books or is just not familiar with Civil War, basically Civil War is where Tony Stark basically sides with the government saying that there needs to be a Superhuman Registration Act, and that basically everyone who has superhuman abilities needs to be registered, and so the government knows their secret identity and everything. And Captain America says, no, that's not right. Everyone needs to have their own freedom. And so the two kind of make two separate sides, and then everyone takes their own opinion on it. And basically Spider-Man is kind of in the center. He's I really want to side with Tony Stark because I idolize him and we just became friends, but at the same time, he actually does believe in what Captain America says. But because he has his friendship with Tony Stark and Tony Stark makes him a new suit, he actually makes him what's called the Iron Spider suit, which is personally my favorite Spider-Man costume. It's literally Spider-Man in an Iron Man armor. And basically, yeah, so he sides with Tony Stark because of that, and then eventually, after he gets beaten, Captain America's team kind of takes him in, and he realizes that, you know what, Tony Stark kind of left me there. You guys are actually kind of right. I think I'm going to side with you. And so he decides, you know what, I'm just going to side with them. And basically, yeah, he's like the line in the center. He's kind of like those fans who are fans of both characters, like me, and he's the one who's torn in the center. And so, before, it was like no one knew who was going to be playing that role because there's not going to be a Spider-Man in Civil War. Like, that was how it was until yesterday. And so everyone was thinking, oh, it's going to be Hulk, it's going to be Black Panther. No one really knew. Now we know for sure it will be Spider-Man, which is very cool. And it's really cool that they actually get to stay that close to the comic book roots. So I'm really excited for that. I mean, I was so excited I made a little fan poster. I'll see if I can put it up. So another thing that came out of that deal is basically that the creative teams of both of them are going to be crossing over, as well as the characters. So, like, basically, when they're making, like, another Amazing Spider-Man movie, like Amazing Spider-Man 3, what's going to happen is that the creative team behind Marvel Studios is going to go over to Sony and basically help them out and try to make the movie as best they can make it. So, what's going to happen is that we're going to see Spider-Man in a lot of Marvel Studios movies, as well as in his own, and we're going to see the Sony movies actually gain, like, their value and actually, like, become genuinely better movies, which I like, too, because, you know, until now, the Spider-Man movies weren't exactly on, like, the same level. They were okay, but knowing that Marvel Studios will be helping them out, that kind of makes me think that, okay, they're going to be stepping it up a notch, and the movies are going to be great. They're going to kind of have that Kevin Feige style to it, which I really like, and I think that they're going to do a really good job with that. But I'm mostly excited about seeing him in Civil War. I'm assuming that he's going to be in Avengers 3, because now they just have the leniency to put him wherever they need him. Because, you know, Avengers 3 is supposed to bring together just about everyone. And so if Captain America 3 is supposed to introduce him to the universe, I think that Avengers 3 is really going to make him solid in that universe, as well as his own standalone movie. Which, by the way, if they make a standalone movie, they need to explain why, like, where he was during the Battle of New York in Avengers 1, because now that they're basically saying that the characters are now together, I mean, unless they basically, like, reinvent the character of Spider-Man, I mean, I hope they don't. I hope they still use, like, Andrew Garfield and everything. But unless they actually reinvent the character, they need to explain why he wasn't there, because his origin story in Amazing Spider-Man was happening relatively at the same time as the Avengers, so they need to kind of explain that, which I hope they do in Spider-Man. And if they're gonna say that, like, yes, he is still the same Spider-Man from those movies, I hope they just say that he was actually helping out in a smaller scale that just barely anyone noticed, because that would actually make sense, and that way they don't have to retcon a bunch of stuff. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this. This is just a little quick video giving you an update on this. I'm so happy that Spider-Man is joining the Marvel Universe, and I am so happy that he will be in Captain America Civil War, and you know what? This probably means that we're going to be seeing Iron Spider. And I'm really excited about that. Yeah, once again, that is my favorite Spider-Man suit. And if we get to see that in Captain America Civil War, I am going to be so happy. So I think that's going to be the end of the video. But actually, before I end it, I actually want to know, Because the whole thing about Civil War is like, whose side are you on? And I want to know, whose side are you on? Leave it in the comments on who you agree with. Tony Stark, the guy who believes that everyone should be registered and so they can be protected by the government, or Captain America, who believes that everyone should have their own rights to freedom. And me personally, I'm kind of like the Spider-Man in between. I like them both, but you know what? I kind of waver in between. But yeah, I want to hear what you guys think. So whose side are you on? But yeah, if you like this video, feel free to leave a like. If you liked me, feel free to subscribe. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I will... I'm still all shaken up from all this. Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time.